Hello, this is Caesar Sihan, and this is a blog for sales engineering. Last week I posted a message on my other blog, You Have More Options. I posted a message titled, Nothing Has a Meaning Until You Give It One. And that applies to the day-to-day life of everybody, but so much so it applies to salespeople. Last week I talked with a couple of salespeople and I realized that too many salespersons undermine their creativity by simply not taking care of the frames they carry with them when they go into an appointment with a prospect. They go there carrying with them whatever state it happens to have at that particular moment in time. I don't know, coming from traffic, somebody cut their way, or maybe they had a conversation on the phone with their spouses, or maybe they just came out from a sales meeting where their manager wasn't very happy, whatever it happens to be. But you see, sales, it's a process of influence. There are many definitions of what sales is. We're going to talk about that into a different message, but independent of the definition, you as a salesperson, you are a person of influence. And this should be your frame, or at least one of them. This should be the meaning that you give to that particular meeting. You are there to solve a problem that the client has. You are there to discover the problem. You are there to project that you have a solution for that problem, and you're there to present the solution to that problem in such a way that the client is accepting it and wants to go on board with it. Now, how do you do that? How do you get into that state? I know you had in your career, you had at least a couple of moments, if not a bunch of them, where actually you created that connection with that client of yours. And that client was happy, was really with you. He was asking questions. He was paying attention, undivided attention to your answers. He was treating you with the respect that you deserve as a solution provider. And what I want you to do is just to remember one of those moments. Just choose one of them and go into that moment back in time. And I want you to see exactly what you saw in that moment. Hear whatever it was around you in that environment. Feel the way you felt into that particular environment. Be there with all your being. And when you are there, memorize that state. Memorize that state. Be it part of you. Go and choose a different moment and build that state the same way as I described. And notice how you feel and memorize that state. And whenever you go into a presentation, carry that state with you, build that state with you. Take a moment in your car before going into that appointment. Take a couple of deep breaths and remember that state. Remember that state when you really had a deep connection with that client and the client was looking at you with respect and you really solved the problem for that client and you're both happy because you got a good job done. And when you have that state, then get down off your car and into that appointment, carrying with you that state. Everything else remains aside. The conversation with your spouse, the traffic, your manager, everything goes aside. In that moment, in that appointment, it is just you and the client. And you have that state of being a solution provider. You are there to solve a problem. And the thing is, if you don't do that, if you carry with you into that appointment all of the stuff that you had from the day, basically what you do, you divide your attention. Think of your attention as the RAM on a computer, if you wish. And if your attention it is in different places, then it is less attention left for the activity for the conversation that you have when you are with the client. And if you have less attention in the conversation with the client, then your creativity is truncated, and the results might not be as satisfactory as you would like. But if you do this though, and if you're sincere about being into that state of solving a problem, the client will sense that. And also you'll be able to sustain your state, your reality as a problem solver, when the client would bring up, I don't know, questions or challenges that you need to address. Remember, this is really, really, really important. How you see that situation, that appointment, that event, the meaning and the frame you put around that particular event will activate some resources from within yourself and will not activate others. And if you want to activate a certain type of resources from within yourself, then the method to do that is to change the frame, change the meaning of that particular event. You cannot just call on creativity just because you wanted to. You have to be into that state, and to be into that state you need to have that particular meaning and frame over that event. And when you see that event as such, your unconscious mind is going to bring up for you the resources that you need to deal with that particular situation, because you told it, this situation is like that. And your unconscious knows what kind of resources you need for that. So remember, the meaning, the frame you put on the situations, on the events, particularly on the appointments with clients, it's key. It's very, very important. And in one of the future blogs, we're going to talk about the state, how to build your state in such a way to be effective, to help you into that particular appointment. But until then, take care of the meaning, how you see that appointment. And my suggestion is to see it as an opportunity to provide a solution. You are there to find the problem and to provide a solution. Let me know how that works for you. Until next time, take good care. Bye for now.